I'm going to teach you today about Python lists. So first, let's talk conceptually about what is a list. So a list is a data type for storing ordered data. And I think ordered is the key word here. So here's an example. So my list, let's say, and just to be clear, lists can store any data type. So it can store strings, it can store booleans, they can store numbers. But note that this has an order, so string comes before true, comes before 2. Okay, now let's look at when. So when should you use a list? So maybe you have a deck of cards like ace, king, queen. So in this situation, the order of the cards is important to a card game, so you could store in a list. Or maybe you're having a race, and the results of a race are stored in a list. So Bob came first, then Steve, and then Joe. Okay, now let's look at some methods that you can use on lists. So you might ask, how can you index a list? So how can you get the nth item on a list? So you use square brackets. So you deck 0. And an important thing to note is that lists start at 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So when I print deck 0, I'll be printing this. Okay, and that's what I got. And you can also set index. So if I do like deck 0 equals jack, and then print deck, see what I get. And the first item of the deck has been changed to jack. Now, what if you wanted to add another item to the end of a list? So what you can't do is you can't set it by index, because if you try this, you get an error saying out of range. So how do you do this? Well, you have to use the append function. So this is deck.append. Let's do 3. Now let's print the deck again. And you see 3 has been appended to the end of the deck. And how would you, and similar to append, the opposite of append is pop. So, but with pop, you have to specify. So pop removes an index, but you have to specify the index. So let's say I want to remove the first one. So I want to remove jack. So I'll pop 0, and then I'll print deck. And now jack has been removed, and it's back down. Now let's see. How would I get the length of a list? Well, we use the len keyword. So print len. So len is a function, and you pass in the list, and it says it's of length 3, which is correct. Okay, now let's see how you would find the index of a certain card. Like, where is queen in the deck? So you use the index method. So deck.index, and then queen. So I want you to think about what this will print out. 1, because remember, king is 0 and queen is 1, so the index of queen is 1. Okay, I think that's the methods that I will go over in this basic tutorial. Now let's look at looping over a list. So the most basic loop you'll use is a for in loop. So for card in deck, and I guess I'll just print card. And yeah, it printed out each card in the deck. And I think a basic for loop is all you really need when you're starting out with lists. But once you get to more advanced, you'll want more advanced functions like map and filter. But I won't go over those now because those deserve their own video. and so I'll go over that in a separate video. But this code, which I've demonstrated, is going to be in the description, and I hope this is just a quick start to introduce you to the data type that is lists, because they're very useful when coding in Python.